As Prime Minister of the Bahamas, I have seen the detrimental effects of the climate crisis firsthand. Hurricanes visit our shores frequently, leaving in their path the burden of debt, destruction, and worst of all, death. In the wake of these storms is the inevitable threat of an even more extreme weather event, one that is powerful enough to wipe out our economy and much of my country. And this is not an anomaly. Countries in Africa and small island nations like mine are the least responsible for CO2 emissions, and yet we remain the most vulnerable to their effects, which imperil our very existence.
Our first Global Citizen Prize recipient is calling on the International Court of Justice to hold nations with high carbon emissions accountable. With human rights as the heartbeat of his movement, Vishal Prasad is working to create a future where marginalized communities, once viewed as victims, would be centered as voices for justice. This is his story.
My name is Vishal Prasad. I am the campaign director of the Pacific Island Students Fighting Climate Change. Many young people are now faced with the reality that their homes, their communities, and their nations might not even exist when they have their children come into this world. Many of them have this desire to stay in the place where their ancestors came from. I have had the opportunity to speak to people who have had their lives ravaged, uproot their houses, their lives, their families, their homes, and move to a completely different life. The pain and the sadness that they've had to go through, the ancestral burial grounds, which were very sacred to these villages, they had to leave them behind and move inland because the waters kept coming in, and they can't go back because there is that fear that their homes will slide again because of how bad the weather is. It's very harrowing. It's the young people who are going to inherit the world after this. We've still got a window of opportunity available to us, but that window is closing very quickly. This is about the survival of the Pacific. We're the ones who have the most dire situations on our hands. If we don't keep fighting, there is no option B available to us. The odds are stacked against us, but we need to keep fighting.
Please put your hands together and join me in welcoming 2024 Global Citizen Prize recipient, Vishal Prasad.
Thank you, everyone. It's an immense honor to be standing here as the recipient for the 2024 Global Citizen Prize. This award that I'm holding, however, is not mine alone. It belongs to the passionate army of young people, my brothers and sisters and colleagues who have fought to bring climate change to the world's highest court. And to my family and my friends, this is for all of you. We've been on this journey because our homes, communities, and nations are facing an existential threat, and yet the world seems to be locked in a dance of delay, ignorance, and empty promises. We need a wake-up call, a deafening roar of urgency that we are standing at a crossroads. The International Court of Justice has a chance to rewrite this narrative, to transform the law and policy space so that they finally work for us and deliver climate justice for all and for generations to come. And for frontline countries like those in the Pacific, this is our moment to have our voices heard meaningfully. We're determined to make this happen. This is our journey. Vinaka Vakalevu, and thank you.